Hello, welcome. My name is Miriam. I'm a family therapist. This video is going to be about teenagers and young people in these coronavirus days. It is a response to lots of questions that I got asked on Lee Pycroft's Instagram live a couple of days ago. I'm going to link to it here. And people were asking about, say, a teenager who was glued to the news and getting anxious as a result. Another one who was constantly on the social media, not doing anything else, not taking any care of herself. A young person who got laid off and came back to live with his parents, and now he's in his room feeling down and depressed and not wanting to do anything. Children on there gaming all the time, and parents not really knowing what to do because they've tried explaining, asking, reasoning, and all that happened was they got more conflict. And often what also happens is that parents have got different parenting styles. So one of them takes the role of the disciplinarian, the other one is a bit more empathetic, and there's conflict in the family. Not nice. So I'm going to suggest a particular way of looking at the situation, and then I'm going to suggest what you could actually do, how you can discuss things with your children in a way that's much more likely to lead to good results. And the approach that's really helpful here, it's called the human givens approach. I'll link to that as well. And the basic idea is that we all have physical and emotional needs. And when these needs are being met in balance, then we're going to be content. We're not going to have any particular mental health issues or problems. And so we all have these needs. And when we look at our teenagers and young adults, they need to feel safe and secure. They need to have a sense of belonging. They need to feel that they are achieving something. They need to feel in control, or at least partially in control. They need to feel that they've got a say in what's going on for them. They've got some autonomy, that they're interested, that they're being stretched, that they're having some fun and downtime. And the coronavirus really interfered with meeting all these needs for all of us, and particularly for our teenagers. So I'm inviting you to look at your young person and their behavior and see that this behavior is either a response to a perception of unmet needs, or it is an attempt to meet a need, which is quite valid. But sometimes it's out of proportion, it's out of balance with other needs that the young person's got. Sometimes it's not considerate of the needs of other people in the family. But the need behind each one of these behaviors is valid. So if we look at these examples that I gave you before, you think about the 14-year-old who is on her social media all the time. She is meeting her need to belong actually quite well. But what she's not doing is she's not meeting her other needs. She's not keeping herself healthy, for example. So the problem isn't in the behavior itself. The problem is that it's out of balance. It's too much. It's too much of something that could be a good thing. Look at the young man who watches the news all the time. Probably he's trying to meet his need to feel safe and secure. Paradoxically, he wants to gather as much information, as much knowledge about the situation to make him feel safer, because he feels unsafe with this uncertainty. But this backfires, because all that happens is that he is becoming even more anxious. So again, the behavior is an attempt to meet a need. And the young person who got laid off and had to go back to his parents, you can see how all the needs that I've listed before are interfered with. He's not feeling safe, he's not feeling secure, he doesn't feel a sense of achievement. However lovely parents are, for him it's a step back. So he's probably now dealing with the emotional impact of all this. So when we look at young people through this human givens lens of needs, first of all, we're going to stop being angry with them, because the behavior itself is an attempt to meet a need which is valid. So what we want to do is have a conversation with them, or several conversations with them, where we try to understand this better, when we are curious and empathic to them, and together we want to think about how we can meet their needs better and how they can meet their needs better. So say with this young 14-year-old, you ought to say to her, tell me why it's so important for you to be on social media. And you want to say, I really want you to have friends. It's so important that you have friends. I'm so happy that you've got a social group. It is really important these days. That's great. My worry is that it's out of balance. Are you worried as well? Are you worried about your physical activity? And if you approach things in this way, not being angry, but just being curious and trying to help and trying to understand, you're probably going to be surprised to hear that this child is probably worried about her physical well-being as well. Go to the boy who is glued to the news. What's in it for you? Tell me. Are you worried that you're watching it too much? Do you want to reduce it as well? Shall we do it together? Can I help you? How can I help you? Same with the young person. I get it that it's really hard for you to come back here. Although we love you and everything, of course, you had a different life and now it's all coming apart. And let's think together what we could do, how we can help, how we can address it as a team together. What can I do for you to help you feel a little bit better today? So the chances are, if you have these conversations and you are empathetic and curious, then your young person is going to engage with you. The other point that I wanted to make is that it's very hard for anyone to stop an activity when there's nothing else lined up instead. So you want to ask your young people, will you join me for my daily exercise routine? Are you going to maybe be willing to help me cook? It'd be so nice. I would enjoy it so much if you were in the kitchen with me and we could do something together for the family. Or whatever it is, make some suggestions. Give your child the feeling that he's wanted and welcome and being helpful, rather than telling them what's wrong with them and what they're doing right now isn't right and they need to do something else instead. The last point I wanted to make is about education. There are some parents out there that are really stressed out about their children not learning, not revising. They're worried about their exams next year, about them losing the ability to concentrate and to study properly. And I completely understand that. Of course, we'd want our children to continue their education, but at this time, for some of them, this is far too much. So what you may want to do is find something that interests them, something around the subjects that may be learning, and do some activities around that. So it could be listening to some language lessons online on YouTube, or listen to YouTubers speaking the language they're learning, or looking at short scientific clips if they are into science, and just do something that's got some learning in it, even if it's not to the standard or the way that you wish they could do. A good question to ask is this going to influence their life in 5 years' time, say? And probably the answer is no. They're going to slow down their education, but hopefully everybody's going to go back on track soon, and they will do that too. So it's more important for them to feel accepted, belonging, appreciated, loved and cared for, than for them to have perfect kind of education right now. So this is it for me, the Human Givens approach. Look at your children's needs, see how you can meet them better in a better balance, how you can help them with that, be part of their team. Thank you very much. This is it for me. Enjoy your children. Hope to see you in the next video.